Hi, this is Nic Petersen with CB Motion Graphics, and today we're going to continue our discussion about randomizing property values. We're going to be discussing wiggling. And last time we took a look at wiggle transforms on shape layers, and today we're going to take a look at a tool that will allow you to wiggle anything that you want that can be animated over time. We're going to talk about the wiggle expression. Now, some people freak out over expressions in coding. Don't. This one's actually really easy. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new shape layer. Let's just go with a rectangle. You can press Q or you can click on it. Create the new shape and then press V to bring up the selection tool. So what we did before was we just added a wiggle transform operator to the shape layer, and we're not going to do that this time. Instead, we're going to go directly into the transform values of the shape layer itself, and just to show you how this works, we're going to wiggle the rotation value. Now, you could keyframe this, but again, keyframing can take a lot of time and you don't necessarily want to go there, especially if you want it to look random. You actually want to add randomness to what you're doing. So in order to add an expression, you click on Option on the keypad and then click, or Alt on Windows, and then click on the stopwatch at the rotation. And you bring up the expression input. Now right here it says transform.rotation. That basically says take a look at whatever value you've got there and go for it. But instead we're going to type in a very simple word. We're going to type in wiggle and then open parentheses. And now we're going to put in two numbers. The first number says how many times per second do we want the value to be randomly changed, and the second number is by how much do we want the value to be randomly changed. So we're going to say we want it to happen 2 times per second, and we want it to go up to, let's say, 15 degrees, and then you just close the parentheses. That's it. That's not complex coding at all. There are two ways that you can set this value. You can either click away like so, and the property will set, or you can press Enter on the number pad, not return on the regular keyboard. Enter on the number pad, and it will also set. And there you can see that it's already started to go. So let's press 0 on the number pad to set a RAM preview. And there we go. It is wiggling 15 degrees twice a second. And now we have our wiggle. But keep in mind, the wiggle expression is not limited to transform values. You can put it on any property value that can be animated. Any. It doesn't matter which one you're doing. The only decision you need to make is, do I want it? So let's click on the shape layer, and there we're going to go Effect, Distort, CC Split. And you see that the effects have been added here in the timeline as well, and you see CC Split, and we're going to drag this down. Now you've got 3 things here that can be animated: point A, point B, and split, and we can add a wiggle to any one of these. But for right now, we're just going to move point A, and you can see that the value is updating down there in the timeline. And then we're going to take point B, and what we're going to wiggle is the split value. Now if we just sort of scrub the split value, you can see it opens up like a mouth, and so we can start singing show tunes. Oklahoma, where the wind comes sweeping down the plain. There you go. Okay, so that's the CC split effect. But what if we wanted to make it random? Well, we add the wiggle expression. So we option click on the stopwatch, and then we type in wiggle. First number is how many times do we want it to wiggle per second. Let's go with 2 again. And to what degree do we want the split to happen? Let's say 30 points. Close the parentheses, press Enter on the number pad, and there you go. There's our expression and randomness. Press 0 to get a RAM preview, and there's that wiggle. Okay, and we can talk whatever we want. We watch it through that RAM preview a couple of times, figure out what it's doing, and then we can add text to it. We're going to stop the RAM preview. Now let's see what happens when we wiggle one of the points. So we're going to option click on that, and then we're going to type in wiggle. Let's do the same thing. 2 times per second, 30 points in each. And let's wiggle again. Start that RAM preview. And that wiggles too. And we can do the same thing, stop the RAM preview, we can do the same thing with point A. Option click on the stopwatch to bring up the expression input, wiggle to 30, enter to accept, 0 to start the RAM preview, and let's see what happens. There's that wiggle again. Now you can see that both points are wiggling. Just to show you what happens, let's say you don't necessarily enter correctly. Let's say you forget to leave that final parentheses and you click enter. After Effects will bring up this little warning box and it'll say, After Effects warning, expected close parentheses expression disabled. Error occurred at line 2 in comp 1 in the layer on the property point A. So it tells you very specifically, hey, something happened and here's where it happened. Okay, it was saying that it expected this close parentheses. You can look down there and say, hey, it doesn't have a close parentheses. Just click OK. And you can see here there's a little warning triangle. It says indicates there is an error in the expression applied to this property. You just go back, you click on it, and add the close parentheses. Press enter again, and it's happy all over again. So there you go. That's how you can use the wiggle expression to alter any property value that can be animated. I would encourage you just experiment, have fun. You never know what you're going to find. So enjoy.